How we doing, everybody? Kent Howard, Green Mountain Defense. Doing something just a little different than we typically do. We typically don't focus on full size or larger size revolvers here on this channel. It's not something I put into my carry rotation a whole heck of a lot. You know us, we're known for, well, Glocks and SIGs and ARs and, you know, the more modern stuff. But, you know, we certainly do use J-frame revolvers a good bit. And, you know, today we decided we'd break out a newer edition. This is a Smith Wesson model 66-8. This is a K-frame revolver. They call this the Combat Magnum. And, you know, I'm gonna be very direct. I'm not a super revolver expert, but I do know a little bit. So we'll go over a couple of the key features and benefits of this gun, run it down range, and let you see us shoot it, see what we think of it. Full disclosure here, this is, like I said, this is a new addition to our toolbox. I've got exactly, 3 speed loaders, so 18 rounds I've got through this gun downrange. At the very moment, I am shooting the Independence 357 mags through this gun. I will be running some Winchester 38 Special, some Remington 38 Special, and then some American Eagle 357 Magnum. So we'll get a good host of difference with the ammo manufacturer and so forth, and I'll try to remember to mention which one is which. This gun is, as you can see, not charged at the moment, and I've got no camera person who I'm flagging when I'm pointing in the direction of the camera. So, Combat Magnums, Smith Wesson Model 66. This is this is a K-frame revolver. This is a gun that they just brought back into production. It's the next step up from their J-frame. So in this gun you get a 6-shot revolver that takes number 10 HKS speed loader, 6 rounds. So you step up in capacity by 1. You do obviously have the choice between single or double action. The trigger pull on this gun is actually not nearly as difficult as I thought it would be in traditional double action from Smith. Certainly a pretty decent trigger, and then single action is just as smooth as butter. It's as easy as it could be. So, you know, yes, you can do trigger jobs on these guns and so forth, but I may not need to on this one. This gun comes with adjustable rear sight and a red front notch on the front post. It has these little vertical lines, striations, whatever you want to call them, up on the top strap. To me, that's a reduction in glare feature more than anything else. It does have the full underlug here on the barrel. Yes, it's got the Hillary hole. It's got the feature that you can lock the revolver there with the little tool. That's not a deal breaker for me. It is for some people. Yes, you can find these guns used still, but I decided to go with a new, most recent manufactured model here in this case. The grips are rubber. They're nice and tactile. They don't do a perfect job of absorbing recoil, but the recoil impulse on these, you know, 357 loads is not nearly as bad out of this as I thought. This thing barks. It's got a 2 3/4 inch barrel here. It's kind of like sticking your face up next to an AR compensator when you touch a round off. You can definitely hear it and feel it. But it's, you know, it's an accurate little gun. I'm shooting at a silhouette downrange there, and I'm keeping most of my rounds high center of the chest, in double and in single action. So that's all positive. You know, why a 357 revolver? Why a revolver in the first place? Well, for one thing, I spend a decent amount of time, especially this time of year, out in the woods, riding ATVs, fishing, etc., etc. One thing, it's nice to be able to put a 38 rat shot load in there and deal with snakes and slithery critters. That's one advantage. Another advantage that's not often discussed is the ability of actual contact shooting with this gun. Because there's no slide, because there's no mechanical action that needs to happen to charge this gun other than the rotation of the cylinder. If you had to press it into something and press the trigger, you could. I'm not some outdoorsman's fantasy guy, but I do spend time in places where there are bears, and we do have predatory cats up here, and those predators are better predators than we are. So there is a chance that we might find ourselves already in progress. We're already being attacked by one of those animals, and maybe we're on our back, and all we can do is press this thing into the animal and press the trigger, and this gun will still function that way. So that's another advantage. Other than that, a revolver is very simple, very rugged, very easy to take care of. In this little frame size, this little package, this is a perfect, one gun solution if you're going to go out camping or fishing or whatever else. You don't need to take a million magazines. You're not going to get attacked by ISIS out in the camping woods. At least we hope not, right? So this makes a little simple addition to any kind of a pack or fishing setup, or easy to be your primary hiking carry gun, that kind of a thing. So works out nice in that way. Also a revolver is definitely not going to have any issues with legality and capacity. So some of you may live in states where that's a concern as well. I like it because I just appreciate the nostalgia, number one. Number two, for sure, if I can come out here and do reasonably well with this double action trigger, that just makes my shooting of any other striker fire trigger a lot easier. So, it's good practice in that way as well. We're gonna have some fun with it, and then we'll come back, talk about it, wrap it up. Stay tuned, everybody. Thanks. All right, so we got the carry rig all set up. We got our two speed loaders on the right side. Got this in the leather on the left. Just gonna do some work from the draw out to the first center silhouette target. Very nice. Gun certainly has some recoil in that 357. There's no question about it. But it's not unmanageable, I wouldn't say. You come here in single action and you really don't have any problems at all. Yeah, that 357 mag is no joke. It's good to know, if you have to, that you can run this gun with full power ammunition. Guys, full power, factory 357 ammunition. Guys will talk about all the time about how good they can come out and shoot with their revolver, and they're shooting little powder puff 38 loads. And don't get me wrong, we're going to do some of that, but you got to be able to run the stuff that you're actually going to carry in the gun. Yes, sir. Just hanging on to that gun. You've got to do your very best to have good follow through on that trigger. Make it work for you, don't work for it. As you can see there, that target's blank other than those 18 rounds. I flinched and flung 2 of them down to the lower center chest, but the other ones are right up where I want them. That 16 out of 18 are just about perfect, and the other 2 are pretty darn good. So that's the results we're getting so far early on with this gun. Alright, so we switched things up a little bit. This time I've got 2 of the Independence 357s on deck, and then I've got the Remington 38s and the rest of the cylinder. So you're going to see a difference here. You're going to see bang, bang, and then boom, 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 right? Over here I've still got 357, but in the gun we're going to see a difference between those 2 loads. So we're going to see bang, bang, right? Wow, what a load. Then it's like a kitten fart in comparison. It's really crazy how much different that is. Those 38s are just nothing, man. You know, if you were gonna compete with this gun or just recreationally teach somebody how to shoot a center fire cartridge, those little guys, those little 38s would be a good way to do it. Now we're back to the big stuff. It's amazing what the difference is there. Always good to be pretty aggressive loading and unloading a revolver. We want to make sure those rounds get out of there. We give it a good aggressive tap. I wanted to see if I could stop myself mid-trigger press and not send a round off, and I could. So that was good. Then we went to single action. Getting a little hot to the touch up front, not really back here by the handling surfaces so much. Notice you have to remember not to have a super thumbs forward grip like you would on your semi-auto pistol, because you'll end up here by the cylinder gap. You could hurt yourself. So I'm kind of modifying my grip a little bit, pushing both my thumbs down. That's something we have to remember when we're running revolvers, but our results are really impressive downrange, actually. Quite frankly, I'm doing better than I thought I would be. Stay tuned, let's keep it running. All right, this time we're running some factory American Eagle loads. These are newer production. That independent stuff was from my dad's stash. I mean, that could have been 10 years old or 30 years old, I really don't know. This is newer production ammo, so we'll see. Let's just see single action real quick, what this load is actually like. About the same, maybe even a little hotter, to be honest. Yeah, about the same, if not a little hotter. Eject's a little easier, I will say that. Loading a revolver with speed loaders as a left-handed shooter is not the easiest task on the planet. Yeah, speeding up a little bit, still doing good. It is a little funny only having 6 rounds on deck. I keep expecting to draw and find more. That just is not happening for us, is it? Ooh. Man, oh man. Really not doing bad at all on that target. And unbelievably, I am still not exhibiting any sort of a flinch. This thing hasn't been adjusted from the factory at all. I mean, these sights are exactly as they came out of the box, and I'm 7 yards and I'm chewing little holes in the high center chest of those targets. So you know, this is exactly what we want from a concealed carry woods kind of revolver. The ability to get that thing up into action, get it out there, press, make our hits. Okay, obviously you guys had to know eventually I was going to back things off a little bit. We're going to work here at the 25-yard line now. I'm going to put some rounds downrange, single action, see what I can do on our far right silhouette. Woo, doggy. I'm going to keep it going here. Okay, that's going to be 357. These are going to be a little 38s. Let's try these little Independence 38s back here at distance and see how we do here. Little kitten fart loads. Meow. Meow. Yeah, I guess I'm meowing at the camera, so there's that. Okay, so we got 6 kitten farts down there, and we got 6 real deal. All right, just gonna take a couple more shots here, work through a full gun and 3 speed loaders. Then we're gonna go back to the table, wrap this up, tell you what we thought. Here goes nothing. was, yeah, that was 3, wasn't it? Can I count? Sometimes now. I cannot. Now that was an experiment in futility, folks. What I tried to do was intermix a cylinder with partial kit and fart 357, or partial 357 and partial little 38s, and I tried to see if they would load out of that speed loader different rounds. They won't. I thought maybe I'd get away with it, but it went wonky on me. Here we go, let's keep it rolling. Yeah, there you see the difference, don't you? Pretty cool. Pretty cool to see the difference in that ammo. I won't do this to you because you guys got other stuff to do, but I could literally stand here and shoot this gun all day, having a lot of fun. All right, put a good number of rounds to this little revolver. Both, kind of extremes, like pretty aggressive 357 stuff, and then pretty soft and kit and farty 38 stuff. Gun ran fine, didn't have any non-user induced hiccups. I did kind of short stroke it a little bit on one trigger press, which resulted in me having to go back around the cylinder again. That's not uncommon. It's a little barker. It's got some oomph to it for sure, but not unmanageable. It has probably less recoil than I would have anticipated, but certainly it's there in 357. In 38, it's a little laser beam kind of a thing. My revolver skills are certainly wanting. I can do a lot better, and I will. I'll practice and train and work with this, and seek to be as proficient with it as I am my other guns. But proficiency is kind of a little different thing with this gun. As you noticed, I was getting that gun out of that holster, up on the target, pressing 2 rounds, and I was hitting the high center chest of what I was aiming at, and then 3 rounds of doing the same thing. That's literally all we did today. 7-yard up drills, 2 rounds and 3 rounds. And I was drawing a circle in the high center chest of that target. Can it be sped up? Hell yeah. Can I do it? Can I do that way faster and way better with a Glock 19? Hell yeah. Of course I can. But, I wasn't as deficient with this as I thought I might be. So that's encouraging. The trigger takes work, takes getting used to, takes knowledge. Guys make jokes about shooting a revolver like this kind of the same way that, the lightsaber was referred to in Star Wars. It's a more elegant weapon for a more simpler time. And, matter of fact, that's probably going to be the title of this movie. I like that a lot, or this video, should I say. But yeah, it's a simpler, more elegant tool. Still viable today, still gets the job done. I would choose this revolver over an El Cheapo semi-auto any day, but not over every semi-auto. But I can get a lot done with this. I'll certainly carry it in the woods, I'll certainly pack it around. It'll become a primary bear and mountain lion defensive tool, if you will. No, I would not take it into battle against ISIS, but I probably won't ever battle ISIS in my life. So I'm not really worried about that. Smith Wesson Model 66 Combat Magnum. Thumbs up all the way for me. I like it a heck of a lot. Listen, we got some classes coming up in July and August, so check our training schedule out. We're going to be putting out some new ones here. www.greenmountaindefense.com. Like us on Facebook at Green Mountain Defense, YouTube, Green Mountain Defense. Like, favorite, subscribe, and share. If you've got questions or comments or anything about this revolver, please put them in for me, and I'll be happy to answer them as best I can. If you do concealed carry, you should probably consider some kind of concealed carry liability protection. Check out Second Call Defense. That's Second Call Defense. We've got an affiliate link in the description of this video and every video. They get you 1 free month of their service to Second Call Defense. Call 911 first, call them second. They'll provide an attorney, they'll provide legal advice, they'll provide bail money. Really good thing to have in your back pocket. My wife and I are both covered for $25 a month. Well worth having, so check that out in our link. As always, thanks everybody for watching. Please be trained, be safe, God bless. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a good one.